Hey Guys, Is This Anything is a comedy podcast that slams bits, sparks, and improv together like particles in the Large Hadron Collider. This show may contain strong language and mature themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to Hey Guys, Is This Anything? My name is Kez.
And I'm Dinghy.
Chapel Rome. It's Chapel Road, but for Italian people. Is that anything?
I thought you meant Rome as in like the act of moving around.
Chapel Rome is also for people who just generally enjoy traveling. Sick. Yeah. So, hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Hey, guys.
Whoa.
We're doing it again.
Whoa, Kez. My voice. It's auto-tune. Whoa. Anyway, glad that's over.
What the fuck was that?
I just thought it was weird that my voice popped into auto-tune for a little bit there, and that will be in the podcast.
That's crazy because, my voice is also really auto-tuned right now. What is happening?
Oh my God. Get out of there. Kez.
Help.
Oh no, you're all auto-tuned. Oh no. Oh no. You're getting extremely echoey and reverby. Oh no, the compression. Oh no, your 8-bit compression. That's going to be bad to listen to, I think.
That's going to be really fun for me to edit later. Anyway, hey, how are you, bud?
Hey, I'm so excited for this episode, Kez.
Yeah.
Like, we've been talking about it literally all week. I found your LinkedIn.
We've been talking about this for multiple weeks. You found my LinkedIn, and I was mortified because...
I did not know. Wow. You know, what a resume. Honestly, why are we doing this? You could work anywhere.
Here's the thing. You found me on LinkedIn. You added me on LinkedIn, which was so unexpected to see you pop in there. I did take a look at your LinkedIn as well. And let me tell you, about the same. The positions you held, I did not know existed, if I'm being honest.
I've been around the block, that's for sure.
The block is an understatement. You've been a lot of places, my dude. So yeah, let me go ahead.
Real quick, for audio listeners, you might want to check out the YouTube version for this one, because there is a video component where we do go through each other's LinkedIn profiles. You might want to be an audio watcher just for this one.
This is the one episode where you almost have to be an audio watcher. I cannot promise that it will be as funny. So take this time right now. If you're listening on another platform, highly recommend check out our YouTube channel. Hey guys, is this anything? We have the video version up there for you to watch, so that way this is infinitely funnier. That being said, we're going to still laugh a lot. If you just like laughing along to what we're laughing at, then you can do that. But we recommend the YouTube version. So let's go ahead and let's get rolling on it. I definitely would love to share with the world both of our accomplishments.
Yeah. Do you want to go first, or do you want to go back and forth, or how do you want to do this?
I can go first. Let me start my screen recording real quick and make sure it works. All right. So if you want to go ahead and open your LinkedIn for me, so we can go ahead and take a look here.
Open my LinkedIn.
Yeah. Open your LinkedIn, and if you don't mind, can you go ahead and tell me about yourself? Explain why you made your page this way.
Oh wow. Let's get serious.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big business bitch.
You are.
First thing you might notice on my LinkedIn account, of course, is I actually call myself Doobie Mannequin. You know, my actual name is Dinghy, but for business sake, to be a little more professional,
yep.
I call myself Doobie.
True.
Obviously, I'm the funniest clown at the Vatican, which is where I currently work.
Yeah, in Vatican City.
And of course, you can see my education quite prestigious. I went to Harvard.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, well, that gets more. Yeah, we'll kind of get into that in a moment here.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just read off my little about section here.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and enter the theater of the mind. You are floating endlessly and aimlessly towards the precipice of human achievement. The world mirrors you, reflects you. The tired eyes of a collective reminds you of your existence in a way that leaves you unsettled. You see her, your mother. She frowns. Is she frowning at you? At your circumstance? Does she see the baby that she brought into this world and feel shame? You don't have time to worry about her. Your phone begins to ring. It's the President of the United States, and there is a job to be done. You grab your massive red nose, your multicolor wig, and your size 25 shoes. You take a deep breath in. You've trained for this your entire life. Without hesitation, you honk. I am the funniest clown at the Vatican, and I'm glad that this is something that a lot of people don't know, that actually the Vatican is a branch of the U.S. government. That's the fourth one. That's the secret fourth branch. I'd say let's go ahead and go through my experience a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll start kind of early career, Secretary of Defense of Atlantis. And that was a freelance position. That was a really interesting position for me because there was a lot of us. There was a lot of us putting our bids in and things like that, freelancing. Of course, that was from October 1982 to May 1983. I only made it 8 months. And let me tell you, because in Atlantis, it's not everything that everyone says it is. It's kind of an L. Lots of leaks. You're very damp the whole time. Like I say right here, I was doing this until I realized I didn't know where the office was and couldn't swim to find it. And I did, of course, I did attach a picture here.
You did.
Called Dinghy at Atlantis PNG. You can see I'm wetter than you.
You really are.
Yeah, of course. Let's get into my now experience at the Vatican. Which is, of course, contract work, as it is. A little difficult to find a real solid full-time position these days. Of course, I've been there 100 years and 8 months. You can see that that's overlapping with my Secretary of Defense position. You just needed a break. That was my side hustle, you know? Of course, it was freelance. It was my side hustle. So I started at the Vatican full-time parenting. That's a career break, I guess. Yeah. Oh, no, hold on. That's happening now. Sorry, I've been so busy.
That's crazy that you don't know
doing.
Your own work history. It's almost like you didn't make this.
I'm so sorry. Let me start back in January 1924.
Good year, I heard.
And of course, I'm still doing that too. Yeah. I'm clown at the Vatican, in the Vatican at the Vatican. And it's a hybrid work position. It's a hybrid contract work position that I've been doing for 100 years and 8 months. And boy, my feet are starting to hurt. Let's take a look at this picture of me at the Vatican. Oh shit, the Vatican. You can see it's the wet Vatican. I'm wet again because it's historically rainy at specifically the Vatican. Yeah. I had to take a little break since this month. I started taking a break. It's full-time parenting, of course. I guess I am the father of 2 children, and you can see here moon. Clearly, I'm on the moon, and it's historically a very dry place. Yeah. So
it's just not wet. I'd like you to look at all of your interests, please.
Oh my goodness.
I think you got confused. Okay. So when I was looking through your page, it looks like you were making a grocery list. I think you were making a grocery list, but you were doing it in LinkedIn.
To be perfectly honest with you, Kez, I forgot that this is a feature on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's pretty wild.
Middlebury bread loaves, School of English, need that. European deli meat. I like to keep my lists vague because if they're out of something that I need, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into just not getting that thing.
You say that. But you also have Juan Marco's totally clean fancy taco seasoning on here.
Well, I can't get through life without my Juan Marco's, you know? I like that. Of course, I put apples here instead of just apple because naturally
we
I need multiple apples. Yeah, my bad. I forgot this wasn't my notes app. Let's cover my education because I'm really serious. Of course, I got my master's in philosophy.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sorry. I'm getting my master's in philosophy. I started on January 1st, 1969. I'm still working on it. I'm estimating July 2034 is when I'll finally get it. The master's of philosophy is called an MPhil. Philip, I'm still trying to figure out who MPhil is. It's hard. It's tough. That's one of the big philosophical questions. That's the reason I haven't got my
Is that essentially like your dissertation? Is you have to figure out who
That's my dissertation.
is?
I'm trying to figure out who MPhil is.
You put Philip here, and I'm still trying. It's interesting. I've never heard of a degree program being called Philip. Just absolutely unhinged.
Well, it's the name just like any other.
That is true.
It's a name just like engineering.
Yeah.
I've done 2 posts.
You have done 2 posts.
Quite recently at that, 4 hours ago. Just as
Yeah, you got 25 impressions on that one, bud. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling on that one. This one work hat gave me the boost I needed to become CEO of my company. Recreationally, I'm a big sort of grind set influencer.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me break it down for you. You have to commit. This is not for the weak of heart to traverse. You have to keep your shoes on while you're on this plane. Nobody wants to smell that. And how can we forget that you have to stop leaving your trash in the parking lot of these rest stops? Also, you can have a little bit of oregano as a treat, being at the Vatican, which is notably close to Italy.
Very true.
And you must read this entire post. So now that we're ready for the real work, grab your pencils and let's get into it. First, write down the name of your 4th grade teacher. Okay, Miss Balvenie, got that. I'm doing an example because obviously, of course I wrote this.
Good, that's totally gonna make this make even more sense. I appreciate that.
Yeah, put the last letter of their name in the first position. Crumple up the paper and toss it into the trash can nearest you. If you made it, congratulations. You've earned the respect of the CEO and they are stepping down. You are CEO now. Follow me for more career advice. Yeah, it's simple as that, really.
There's That's really cute picture here, too, that they took of you when you worked when
I worked at the company.
At
company, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Really good. Of course, we can't forget about my Garfield banner. Sorry, my big Garfield banner.
I noticed you put Garfield's dad as your banner.
Yeah, Garfield's dad. And I was keeping it kind of down low for everyone there because not everyone knows that that's Garfield's dad. But I'm glad that you brought it up, so now I can actually say that that's Garfield's dad.
Yeah, that is Garfield's father.
I bet he loved the lasagna.
It is wild that you've had 60 post impressions.
That is pretty crazy. I'm very popular.
It's even crazier that I can see these stats.
That is weird. Are you hacked? Are you hacked into my account, Kez, maybe?
Oh, I don't know why I'm logged in as you. What happened?
You gotta log in as you.
Oh, here. Let me log in as me. Okay. Yeah. Let me real quick before we how did you like going over your profile that you made by yourself? Totally you and not me.
Totally me. I definitely made this. I didn't think it would get to this point with this podcast. This seems a little too personal to reveal to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This is me. This is the real me, and I made this account 100%.
Yeah, so here is my Oh no. Here is my...
Now, Kez, if I may start, I don't mean to cut you off. I think it's really interesting that it's Tynes and not Kez. Is there a reason for that? Can you read out your whole name? Also, I don't think I recall hearing Tynes' last name.
Of course. My name, my professional name that I go by is Tynes McDeer. That's the name I use. The name sorry. I don't know why.
We're having such a great time. I know it's kind of scary to be revealing all this information to the world like this.
Nervous laughter. This is nervous laughter. I'm just trying to...
It's okay. I went through it too.
I'm sorry. I can't fucking breathe. My name is Tynes McDeer. It's my performer stage name. That's what this account is for. It's for my entertainment alias. Mm-hmm. So I do go by Tynes McDeer famously. That's what everyone knows me as. Obviously a professional musician at Everender, which crazy that is a real band that you can listen to.
Thank you,
but I'm
Everender,
also
for the music for the start and the end of this
thank
podcast.
you,
Go
Everender,
listen to Everender.
letting us use your music and also your name. Also a budding airline pilot, apparently, which I put that in here, so of course that's just fact. Sorry, I forgot I was logged in as you. I have accepted your my own request.
That's
anyway,
right, yeah.
So I apparently work at Emirates, the airline. I do work for them. I also apparently went to Brown University. I'm sure we'll get into that. We'll start at my about section, my little bio that I have here. I am a high achieving individual with a diverse skill set. I possess advanced degrees in nuclear physics from Harvard, Brown, Duke, Yale, and more. Many doctorates in law and a passion for live performance. And I'm seeking to bridge the gap between science, law, and the arts.
See, now, Kez, this is what I thought was most impressive. Not only did you get a degree in nuclear physics, a couple doctorates in law, and you have a passion for live performance, but you did all of those from multiple universities.
Correct. Yes, because I figured I should do the exact same degree program across multiple schools. Because
you want to be evenly balanced,
You do. Which, hey, we went to Harvard together. I remember that's how we met.
That's right.
Harvard.
At Harvard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was how we were introduced to one another. I've been your biggest cheerleader in terms of you finishing your degree. I've been rooting you on. I really do think that you can get there by July of 2034. I really think if you stick to it, you've got this.
It's on the horizon. It right
really
there.
is.
So close.
Real quick, I want to acknowledge my profile picture. First and foremost, this is a great photo.
Yeah, you have one of those tags for.
I do.
That LinkedIn gives you.
I've never heard of this one specifically.
It's new, I think.
Yeah,
from my sources at LinkedIn.
It says hashtag open to twerk.
Yeah, I can say that, huh?
Which I think I must have not had my glasses on or something. I didn't even know that this was an option. It looks so authentic, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's one of 3 options that they give you nowadays.
Okay. It looks really cool. Also, this banner, is this Woodstock?
Well, interesting. So, yeah, you took that from one of your previous posts, which I think you'll like to show us in a bit.
Perfect. Yeah, let's actually jump down to experience. Oh my fucking God.
You put it all out there, and I really respect you for that.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. Back when I was a young pup, I used to work at the Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Of course, Lionel,
from March,
classic.
Yeah, from March 1977 to November 1981. And anyone who worked there alongside me remembers I was actually one of the people that was pitching the signage that we would use for future generations to signify nuclear waste being disposed of on planet Earth. The whole nothing of
thing.
The whole spiky deal. Nothing honored is whatever. However that went. I don't remember. That was what, 50 years ago.
It was a while. It was
a long time ago. So I did work there. I would actually love to go ahead and just read out my description that I wrote myself.
Yeah, sure, for sure. I'd love to hear that.
I was discovering new ways to split atoms without accidentally causing a global meltdown. I very much was doing my own Manhattan Project. I was building tiny indestructible robots powered by nuclear energy for reasons. They're still classified reasons. Can't talk about them or I'll lose my clearance. So I got to be careful about that.
Yeah, interesting that you did talk about them right now.
I won't get into the reasons. I can talk about the fact that they exist. I just can't discuss the intricacies of why. In addition to that, I developed a foolproof plan for world domination, which was optional but highly encouraged. I took it upon myself to do that as somebody who wanted to really stand out amongst my peers and really go above and beyond in the workplace. I also would explain quantum physics to non-physicists. Would you like me to explain quantum physics to you?
I would, yeah, considering that I'm a non-physicist.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, this was almost, 40 or 50 years ago?
Yeah.
So I don't blame you if you don't remember all of this.
No.
You got it right off the dome?
Still, I got it off the dome.
It's fresh back there?
It's like it was yesterday. So you take atoms, right? You know what atoms are?
Yeah, like Adam and Eve.
Sure. So you take these tiny atoms that are the building blocks of our universe and you go subatomic. You get tiny with it. And quantum actually comes from the the root Latin word quantus, which means
it's the airline, I think.
It's real tiny. Means real baby tiny small.
Real small. Okay.
And the physics of baby tiny small, if you want to really break down the etymology of the word. But yeah, it is a bit complicated. It's hard to really place it in layman's terms. I don't want to bore you with all the complex intricacies of quantum physics.
Understandable.
Yeah, we can move on. So I actually ended up taking a bit of a career break, we could call it, and moved into the U.S. penitentiary in Florence for about 3 years and 10 months. And there, I interacted with the guards and, had confrontations with other inmates. It was tough in there. I reflected on my life inside and outside prison, trying to make myself a better person, reflecting on moments of vulnerability and strength. I was able to convey a sense of confinement and desperation. You could see, you could see how my lack of interaction with the outside world was truly destroying me. And it just made me really loud with a strong and expressive voice.
Really loud.
I got real loud.
Your vocal cords are so strong.
They are so strong. My 3 years and 10 months that I spent at the U.S. penitentiary in Florence was some of the best times of my life. Made some of my best friends. People say college, best years of your life. No, I think federal prison for me, I think was the best time of my life. I got out, that I couldn't stay there forever and needed to figure out, what's the next step in my life? What do I do next? So I became a ranch hand on my own ranch that I called Tynes Big Ranch. This was kind of the origin story of the Tynes character, you could say. I did that full time, and the location of this employment is White House, Tennessee, United States.
That's interesting. I've never heard of White House, Tennessee before.
Yeah, honestly, neither have I. It's been so long, So yeah, my ranch at White House, Tennessee, I became intimately acquainted with the finer points of bovine behavior. Of course, I wanted to be a ranch hand that had a lot of cattle, and they're kind of dumb. Cows are kind of dumb. I mastered the art of haystack balancing. So here's the funny part about that is if you, for whatever reason, thought this was a bit, if you thought that any of this was a joke, it's really not. These are our actual. This is all
complete. These are real. LinkedIn.
These are our LinkedIn profiles. I actually used to do haystack balancing. So it is a lot harder than it looks. They're heavy. They're real heavy.
Yeah. You ever seen haystack?
I have. I had a ranch. Heavy.
You had a ranch, of course. Tynes Big Ranch.
Yeah. Tynes Big Ranch. I did develop an uncanny ability to locate lost livestock. They would often escape the barn, the coop, whatever you want to call it. They'd get out, and it would be, up to me to go get them. No one worked with me. It was just me. I maintain a healthy fear of snakes, but a deep-rooted love for dogs. Both of those are 100% real. And I'm prepared to engage in impromptu line dancing contests with the local wildlife at any moment.
As you do when you work at a ranch. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I kind of fell off after that. I became a stock clerk in April of 1989, and I did that for 20 years.
You're committed, and I really respect that about you guys. That's what I noticed when I saw this.
I fell in love with this job. I absolutely loved stocking shelves. I loved cleaning. I loved everything that it was entailed with being a stock clerk, to the point that it kept me there for 2 decades. I did leave shortly after the housing market crash. It just wasn't sustainable for me.
Seems like a bad choice, yeah.
It really was, in hindsight.
It's a big risk.
It was. I took a risk, and I actually ended up founding postpup.co.
This makes your Blue Sky handle make a lot of sense.
Which, as many of you know, if you follow me on Blue Sky, it is my Blue Sky handle. It is a postal service. And for the last, until I left in 2023, for 13 years and 7 months, we were big on, mail. Something I've always been passionate about. I love mail so much. I love logistics. Right. I love infrastructure. I love delivering things. So this was absolutely perfect. I did start up this on my own. It is deceptive to call me the founder. I never hired anybody.
I don't. When I met you initially, you were still at this.
Correct.
And I remember you saying you don't need anyone to help you.
Correct.
And we kept saying, Kez, we can help you. And you were like, no, let me do it.
No.
And that's, I think,
I said I love capitalism so much that I will never, ever try and pay another person. I want every last penny for myself.
You were keeping your overhead so low. And I think the venture capitalist money that you had coming in really appreciated that.
Absolutely. I still owe them so much money. That being said, once I realized the debts were too much for me to handle, I did step aside from postpup.co and became the chief executive officer of Albertsons.
Well, that's a big jump.
It is. You have to remember, I worked there as a stock clerk for 20 years.
Yeah.
Went from that to creating one of the most successful startups of 2009.
That's right.
So it was so easy how quickly I was able to move into the CEO position of Albertsons, a company that I have frequented many a time, that I love, keep close to my heart. And it really...
Of course. I mean, you say that, but what happened then? It seems like you weren't there for that long.
You're right. So I was only there for 2 months.
Also, can I interject real quick and just ask why you felt the need to mention that you needed to maintain a physique that's both inspiring and aspirational to your target demographic? That's kind of weird for a CEO.
It is super weird. I also... It's been so long.
Did that contribute to your 2-month stay as the CEO? I don't mean to grill you, but I'm just curious.
It's probably, I can't recall, it's been so long, but that likely does have something to do with my quick departure from the company. I do want people to know, though, while I was doing all of these jobs, of course, I was also working as a professional musician and, touring, doing the whole thing. I have been doing music since January of 1969, so it has been almost a beautiful 56 years of doing this project.
That's when I started at Harvard. Interesting.
It is. And of course, this was the band. We were at Woodstock 1969, one of the most famous Woodstocks in history. That's why I recognized it so quickly when we first opened this profile. I remember this show vividly. Truly one of the best days of my life.
It's huge. Big get.
Yeah, really was. Once it was clear that my relationship with the Albertsons company wasn't a good fit, I needed to shift it up. I needed to change things and do something different. So I did become an airline pilot at Emirates. I started that February 2023. I'm still doing it. I do find the time to still do the podcast in between my really long flights that I make. Sorry, something I forgot I put in here that caught my eye. I can apparently deadlift 486 pounds.
I did notice that. I think it's interesting that that's under airline pilot. Do you do a lot of heavy lifting at work?
The way that I learned to fly is very much... Have you watched The Flintstones?
Yeah, I've seen the Flintstones. I'm familiar.
So if you can imagine for a second, if we could re-enter the theater of the mind, this is for audio listeners as well. The way that I learned to fly is the plane will have a hole in the bottom where the cockpit is, and you have to go through the hole and start running really fast. You have to be really strong, and you have to be able to push the plane while you're running in order to get it going fast enough to get it in the air. So that's why I'm able to deadlift 486 pounds, because I have to be able to push a 757 fast enough to get in the air. Yeah, I'm really glad that I remembered to put that in there. It is a very proud accomplishment of mine. I've been to a lot of schools too, apparently.
So something I want to interject real quick. Something that I thought was really, really incredible, actually, is that not only did you go to 6 of the top schools in the U.S., but you also went to them during the same time. You went to 6 of the top schools in the U.S. all at the same time, and you seem to have done extremely well in all of them.
I really did. And if you don't mind, I want to just kind of highlight some of my accomplishments real quick.
Of course. Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
I did go to Brown. I mentioned that at the beginning. They gave me the prestigious Brown out of 10.
Sorry, what did you get there?
I got
what degree?
My degree. I'm a doctor of Brown.
Sorry. A doctor of what?
I'm a doctor of brown.
Oh, okay, of course.
I also went to Duke University.
Did you graduate with honors?
I did. I really did. I got, my grade was 100%. I remember that the dean actually wrote so good in red pen on my diploma.
Circled it, maybe.
Which was really cool. I did get my doctorate in law, my Juris Doctorate, also in international business, trade, and tax law. Just if you want to be specific. So if you have questions about international trade, yeah. I'm your dog.
You're the one.
I'm the one. I also went to Harvard. As you know, we went to school together.
Yeah, we did.
I only did go for the 4 years. Versus your
because you made it through just like that.
Yeah,
I'm still.
I guess it's interesting too that I went to all of these schools for 4 years and got doctorates in them.
It turns out honestly, man, you'd be the one to say, but it doesn't sound that hard.
It was deceptively easy. It's actually really easy to get your PhD. I don't think a lot of people know that, but in terms,
I noticed that you also got above a 4.0 at Harvard.
I did. I got a 4.20 GPA. I was really a prolific student. I was valedictorian of our graduating class. Of course, received my doctorate in law for banking, corporate finance, and securities. So, if you want to get into
got that one squared away. If you want to get
into trading, I'm again your dog. I was in so many different organized groups within that school. I was in Alpha, Beta, C, D, E, F, G, which I'm sure I don't have to explain that. You know what that is.
No, everyone knows. Yeah, everyone knows.
You were also part of that society with me.
I was.
You were. It was one of the best times of my life. Aside from Harvard, I also went to MIT, the Massachusetts Institution of Technology. I got my doctorate in science and mechanical engineering. That's something else I'm very passionate about. Love mechanical engineering. Love knowing how things work. Love taking things apart. I do hold the record for the highest GPA ever attained in the history of humanity. I got a 10,000 GPA.
10,000. Wow.
10,000. It is pretty remarkable. I also was a member of the Engineering Fellowship of Massachusetts. That was a big deal for me. I can totally validate that's a real thing. Don't have to look it up. I also went to Stanford, of course. It's just
as one does. Just
general law. I wanted to keep that one simple. I put my grade as better than you, bud. You know what? I do be saying that.
Yeah, that you love hitting people with a bud.
I love hitting people with bud. I love saying, I did better than you at this school.
And actually, I read some of your posts, and that attitude kind of reflects in one of your posts. I noticed. I'm glad there's consistency.
Okay, yeah, of course, absolutely. And I also, was part of alphabet.com.
Yeah.
Which was a big deal.
I think they're called Google now.
Yeah. Interesting that we did that before the internet existed. We were just way ahead of our time.
Well, that's why Google's one of the most successful companies now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, it's not an Ivy League blowout if you don't have Yale. So
you gotta go to Yale.
You
gotta check out this cool school.
Yeah. I did get it in tax law and taxation. I wanted to be as well-rounded as possible, so I have very, very strong law background. My GPA in this one, not as great. I did kind of let Yale slip to the side. I got a 6.9 GPA there.
Nice.
I think at some point you have to just kind of let some of the coursework fall to the wayside, and I think Yale did become victim to that.
That's okay. I mean, you made up for it with that 10,000 at MIT.
I want to go ahead and talk about my posts.
Yeah, you posted quite a bit.
I posted way more. Oh my God.
I do like that they more or less kind of meet your career progression.
Yeah.
Maybe one big post. Is this kind of how you do it? You do one big post for every career move?
For sure. I would love to start with the earlier posts. I think it's interesting that these posts were made when these were happening, apparently. Yeah, before this platform existed, but that's how, how much vision I had for the future. I was ready with these. You have
It
me.
happens.
You have me at Woodstock, of course, the famous photo that everyone
Classic.
remembers. We have
It's legendary.
me overcoming adversity to forge a new path. You can see me at the Florence U.S. Penitentiary.
Oh, this is when you were in prison.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't make that connection.
No, yes, I
earlier.
was 100% incarcerated, and it was tough, but made it through.
I think it's also interesting that this one seems to have some genuine, honest to God likes to it.
Oh! Oh my god, it does! People engaged with this post! There's no fucking way!
Because
Holy
this is not the bit. I did not make these accounts.
I know these are real! Holy Okay, it is interesting that is the only post that got any engagement. Oh, nope. There is another. However, if we move on from that, I don't like to dwell too long on my incarceration. I did post about going to Bosa Donuts, which is something that I do regularly. I'm a big fan of Bosa.
Do you recognize this one in particular?
Are you fucking serious? There's no fucking way, dude. There's no fucking way. 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh my God. You. Anyway, yeah, this is the one that's literally not too far from me. So, love this Bosa. This is the one I eat at regularly. That's real. There's this beautiful picture of me as being a ranch hand, you know, loved my days on the ranch, on the farm.
On the land.
On the land. You know what they say?
You're really a dog of the land.
Really a dog of the people, dog of the country, and I miss it. I miss it a lot. But
God bless America.
yeah. And you can see me here. I was really stoked to be kicking off my career at Albertsons. I had one of those cool little robot cart things that, you know, you could do, you know, shopping and stocking with. Very, very cool of me to do that. Oh, so here's what I forgot to mention is that that postpup.co, the postal service actually was a partnership with Albertsons, and you were able to utilize our shipping services. And you can actually see, if you look at this photo, our cool logo is a little bit obscured by my foot. I don't know why I chose this pose. It is kind of wild. I think you can see
it more clearly in the background of that picture.
Yeah, you can see like the logo. You can see my face. That rules. This is incredible. I'm glad that someone took a picture of that. You can also see me working as the new CEO of Albertsons at the time.
Now, this is the one that I read, and I was like, "Oh wow, okay." So this makes sense because you're just like this.
Yeah.
So can you go ahead and read this one out just for the audio listeners?
Of course. Oh wow. Interesting. The words that I said earlier still ring true.
Yeah.
Just closed another monster deal and officially upgraded to CEO. This ain't no charity case, folks. It's about stacking that paper and living the high life. Hard work pays off, but let's be real. It's mostly about knowing the right people and making the right moves. Who's ready to learn how to turn a profit? Hashtag grindset. Hashtag rise and grind. CEO of Albert and Son. Hashtag rich. Hashtag I'm so cool. Again, it was all capitalism, baby. Every penny is mine. I don't support helping
That's
people.
right.
I am all for myself. And not very long after, ended up, you know, living my dream as a pilot. I was very excited to be flying, you know, my big plane for the first time.
You big beautiful plane.
My big beautiful plane. God, what a journey this took.
I'm really glad that I found your LinkedIn because I think it's quite wonderful. And actually, we'll in the description link these LinkedIn. So if you want to link up with us, feel free to do so.
Please do. Please link up with us with your real LinkedIn accounts. We would.
Yeah.
We would love to discuss with you. You know, I have a lot of connections in the industry. And if you're looking to, you know, go to an Ivy League school, if you're looking to work for Emirates, I'm your dog. Hit me up. Let me know. If you want to go to the Vatican,
right, yeah.
Hey, I heard Chapel Rome's going to be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Chapel Rome will be
Chapel
there.
Rome, baby. Oh,
Oh, wow.
goodness.
That was gorgeous, Kez. I'm really glad that we went through that on the podcast together.
Oh, wow. There was so much to my profile that I forgot how much information I put in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've truly done it all.
You really have. You've had some incredible life experiences.
Thank you. So have you. I mean, you have worked in one of the most prestigious positions I think that has ever existed, being a clown for the Pope.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
It's quite incredible work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very proud of that work. Do you want to do a topic?
Honestly, yeah. I think at this point.
Can I just real quick, maybe this one probably won't take super long, so we can talk about this one. We need to talk about the competitive pistol marksman from Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Yusuf Dikic, who got the silver medal in the Olympics. And I know last week I said that I don't really care about the Olympics, but I care about Yusuf. So
Yusuf Dikic is a phenomenon, and I would love for you to explain to us who this man is.
Yeah, if you don't know who Yusuf is, he competed in the competitive air pistol marksman thing, and he's from Turkey. There'll be some pictures in the audio watcher version of this, but everyone else rolled up with their headgear, big earmuffs, all focused up. They had these like wild flip down, almost Matrix ass like classes to improve their marksmanship. Yusuf rolls up and he's got just some earplugs in. He's got his regular old glasses.
Audio watchers,
puts his hand in his pocket.
Look at this man. Look at this man.
You have to look. Puts his hand in his pocket and pulls out the pistol and fucking gets silver at the Olympics.
Oh.
It's honestly one of the most incredible things on earth. And I know the memes are going crazy right now, but like, oh, we all love Yusuf.
Do you think so? I learned a lot. About, the shooting portion of the Olympics and what goes into that. Learning that the target that they're shooting is like the size of a coin, which is absolutely remarkable. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, they're shooting these tiny little pellets at it. So it does make it even more remarkable to think.
Do you think that's why they called them marksman? Because it's remarkable?
I don't think it is. I don't think that's anything.
Well, that was worth a go.
Yeah, well.
This is a great character that you've kind of conjured up here.
This great guy. We hate him.
This is my asshole character. We like to keep him around.
We like to keep everyone humble here on the pod.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
anyway, I just wanted to bring up Yusuf. Also, that Yusuf is all we could talk about at work yesterday.
I mean, how could you not? Yeah.
I love also that I tried after we were talking about, silver medalist Yusuf for a while. I was like, well, who got first place? And I could not find it. I mean, albeit I didn't look that hard, but like when I searched gold medal air pistol marksman or whatever Olympics, nothing. It was all just about Yusuf. So I think it goes absolutely crazy that like second place right now is for this particular thing is just so much more important. Nobody gives a shit about first place.
Imagine winning a gold for an event at the Olympics.
And all eyes on Yusuf.
No one gives a fuck about you. Incredible. What a period of time it has been watching the Olympics, which I've totally done and have not just been looking at memes about it. Therefore, I know everything that's going on with it.
That's right.
Want to do one more topic?
Yeah, we can do one more topic.
Let's do one more topic.
Okay.
I would love for you to explain what this is, please.
Oh, yeah, great. We're a little inside baseball here, a little behind the curtain peek. We're actually recording this on a Friday. The Friday actually that the previous episode came out because I had a thing that I have to do tomorrow. But earlier this week, I went on a flight and let me pull up my notes because I had to write this stuff down. I was on a flight and I was flying back and I was on the company's dime. So of course I'm going to be flying first class, to the East Coast and back. And so on the way back, we got our food, sucked down the food, etc. The flight attendant comes to take the tray away, all of that. And then I struggle putting my tray table away for about, 5 minutes straight. Like it's it's an uncomfortably long time to just be like trying to somehow shimmy this thing off to the side and back into its hole. Because in the first class seats, they like, the tray table doesn't come down from the seat in front of you. It comes out of the arm, like unfolds in front of you. So I fold it up, I like bring it up to the side, and I try to like pull it back because it has to slide back and then go down. And it just like won't slide. And so like I keep moving it around and shit. And I'm like fussing around, and I'm sure that was like kind of annoying for the guy sitting next to me. Totally fair. And so he has the gall like telling me how to put it away.
Oh,
like,
that's the worst.
I know I'm trying, like I didn't say all of this, but I was like, thank you. But in my brain, I was like, I'm literally trying to do that. It's stuck. Like I can't get it to go. Anyway, after enough struggling, I finally managed to just like muscle it back and shove it back into the arm thing. And we keep flying. It's all fine. I bust out my Steam Deck and I just start playing some games. And this guy's working on his laptop, got a cup of coffee, he's drinking it. It comes time, he puts his laptop away. He starts folding up his tray, and I notice he also starts struggling with it in the exact same way I'm struggling with it. In my brain, I assume it was because he was trying to save face, but he's like really trying to make it happen so he doesn't look like the fool sitting next to him who struggled putting a tray table away for 5 minutes straight. And so he folds it up, he gets it upright to sort of the position that I was struggling with it in, and he's like just kind of reaming on this thing. Like he's really pulling on it. And then at some point he tries to pull it forward, but now it's been slightly stuck backwards. And so he's trying to pull forward so hard with both of his arms. His right hand slips off and it absolutely punches his hot cup of coffee, which is in first class, they give you a ceramic mug. He punches the ceramic mug so hard and coffee explodes all over the place. The cup of coffee like hits the armrests of the people in front of us. And that's when all the coffee just like erupts out of it. And like my legs got soaked and the people in front of us got covered in hot coffee. And this mug, I'll give them props. I don't know what United's doing with their mugs, but it did not shatter. You could hear that it was ceramic because it hit the armrest, made that ping noise, and then like hit the ground and bounced a couple times. The aggression with which this guy like slipped and punched the mug, it was full force. It was so funny. And so like I help him pick up the cup and stuff, and I just wipe my legs down. He's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And he goes to the bathroom then at that point, after he's finally gotten the armrest away. He goes to the bathroom, I assume, to collect himself a little bit. Fucking walk of shames
himself
like,
to the bathroom because of the embarrassment he just subjected himself off to.
And gets cleaned up. Collects himself, and then he comes back, and the first thing he does is he pulls the tray table right back up, starts working on his laptop again. And I was like, in my brain, I was like, you did all of that. You soaked 3 people in coffee all for nothing.
You know what? At that point, you kind of just gotta not give a fuck about anybody else around you and just say, I'm out for me.
That was, it was just like witnessing that. And I was right. I had a front row seat on that bad boy.
Oh,
it was
God.
The funniest thing. And I was like, yeah, okay, that'll teach you to tell me how to operate this tray table.
You and I getting coffee on our legs in air travel capacities is happening more frequently than I think it should.
That time at the Capital One Lounge.
Yeah.
Shout out Capital One.
Capital One Lounge. So
this video is actually brought to you by Capital One.
I fucking wish. Wallet? Oh, please sponsor us, Capital One. I will sell out immediately. I'll tell that story because it's funny. So we were in, God, where were we? Was it Denver?
It was Denver.
Yeah. I can't remember where I fly anymore. So I was going to Georgia.
It was FWA, right?
It was FWA. I don't know why I can't remember anything right now. So I was going to FWA over in Atlanta, and it just so happened that our flights were not far from each other. I ended up landing in Denver, and you were there. And I'm like, oh my God, we get to hang out at the airport. We never get to do this. We're excited. Yeah. And you can get into the Capital One Lounge.
Based on the last episode, that seems disastrous, but I assure you it was fine.
We love airports. We love them. But yes, we go to the Capital One Lounge. I'm living my first class life that I don't usually get to live anymore. And I get my coffee. You get your coffee. If I remember right, we got Irish coffees?
We got Irish coffees because when you're at an airport, I guess drinking at like 10 a.m. is fine.
It was like, was it 10 a.m.? I feel like it was earlier than that.
It was in the morning.
It was like...
It might have been 9 o'clock in the morning. It was early.
And we're just drinking Irish coffees, having a good time. You said something that caused me to...
I pointed out what time it was on a departures board that was right behind you as you took a sip of coffee.
I forgot. I was going to ask you if you remembered why I laughed because I forgot.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, there was a specific time that it was, which now I understand.
And if you could, before we say what it is, maybe we just won't say it.
Let's not say
but
it.
If you listeners could imagine what time might be inappropriate to mention at an airport, that's what time it was. It was, in the morning around 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah.
It was. And
so just fill in the gaps.
so yeah, you had made a mention of the time, but the way you did it was so funny, so unbelievably funny that I immediately projectile spit my coffee all over the place. Like I had a mouthful of coffee when you did that, and it was everywhere, including my nice pants that were just...
This was not like a nose rumble and you spit up a little coffee. You blasted coffee onto your
straight
pants.
Up full force ejected all the air out of my lungs into that cup and caused the coffee to literally go all over the place. Thankfully, there was no one immediately around in that moment, but there were people walking by like 10 seconds later in the aftermath. And let me tell you, there was something to have to be in that condition while people were looking at me.
And it was one of those things where, like, because people were walking around now, you couldn't just be laughing like an insane person.
Oh, yeah.
Which made it even funnier.
And because we were not acting like people... Oh, God, how do you say that without sounding crazy? We're fine. We are so normal, and people who think we aren't normal are wrong. Normal. But maybe we don't act all business stuff stuck up like stuffy that you would expect people to be like at airports. We have fun. Yeah. We have a good time. We love airports when we're together. We hate them when we're apart.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a cool time. And my pants were soaked, and I had to fly like that for the rest of the day.
You did, and they were also stained with coffee.
They are still stained, actually. I tried to wash them when I got back, and it's not like super noticeable, but like if you're up close, you see it. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I will never forget that trip because my pants have the scars to show for it.
That's really solid.
What a beautiful time it was. Hey, buddy.
Great episode
today.
Bud. Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
We've had a great time here today, you and I, here on our show, episode. Hey Guys, Is This Anything? I want to shout out, the people that did submit their Is This Anythings to us. We actually did get one.
Huge. We did, actually. And also, before you get into that, if you would like to submit your Is This Anythings, send us an email at heyguysisthisanything@gmail.com.
You really should.
That will be in the description.
Please do, because there's nothing we love more than doing less work and requiring our listeners to do the legwork for us. So if you don't mind...
We will say that you did it, but we will say it in such a way that we take the credit for it.
And if you don't start sending them in, we're just going to stop doing the podcast because...
I'm going to start screaming. If you... Hey, listeners. Hey, guys. If you don't start sending these in, I will scream.
So we will fly to your house and start screaming.
We'll scream outside your front door.
So
do you want, hey, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Can you give us this?
Speaking of flying to your house and screaming outside your door, I do want to note that, Greg, Dinghy did put a note next to your name that says, "Should we dox Greg?" Which is incredible. I'm only going to read one. Greg did send us a few, but I want to do just one. And then you and I can do ours to close out. But I do want to discuss the one that Greg sent in. I think it's interesting. I think it has merit for a discussion. It is Plane Station.
Oh, topical. Very topical.
It's a game system only for plane-related games. Is that anything?
Greg, man after my own heart. Yeah, hell yeah, that's something. I am such a plane geek. It's unbelievable.
You are.
And if I could get a Plane Station, maybe a Plane Station 2 when that one comes out, I would I would play the shit out of that.
Yeah, I mean,
thing. That
throwback
would be
to
fire.
last episode. How many airplanes did you have in your bag when you were a kid? You love planes.
Oh, shit,
You would have
man.
loved this
A lot.
as a kid.
It was a lot. I would have loved this. I would love this.
I'm going to be so real with you.
So, Greg, I'm expecting my plane station in the mail tomorrow.
When I first read this, I misunderstood it. I thought it was a game system that was like loaded onto planes.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think could be really neat.
It would be like those, remember in like the mid 2000s when they would have the TV with a remote you could pop out of it on the airplanes?
Those so much. If I had
and they did have games on those.
Yeah. What was that one movie? It had Frankie Muniz in it and Amanda Bynes. I can't recall the name off the top of my head, which is crazy because I watched that movie. We were flying, I believe it was from Germany to the United States. And I watched that movie on repeat. I was obsessed with it. And now, you know what? Let's complain.
Okay, complain. Is that anything?
Complain. Ah!
Uh-oh.
That rules, actually. That was good. I'm actually not going to complain because we're running late.
running along
I could rant and rave, but that's not the point of the Is This Anything? Greg.
We'll save that for next
Greg,
time.
thank you for your submission. Thank you for giving us something to talk about for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for giving us the gift of life also,
and the gift of
Greg.
content.
I appreciate
it's
that.
just less work that we have
And
to
the
do.
gift of content.
And anytime that we can do less, we will take the opportunity. That being said,
there's that character again. There's that insufferable character again.
It is truly how I choose to live my life now. So I would like each of us to go ahead and close out with some Is This Anythings as well. Do you have one?
I do have one. I always have one.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Okay. Dodgeball, spelled DOJ ball. A sport for the Department of Justice. Is that anything?
No. I don't reckon it is. I appreciate it nonetheless.
That's fair.
I have one as well, if you're willing to hear me out on it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually topical given the episode. It's called InPeed. It's a job searching website for people who want to get peed on. Is that anything?
Wait, they want to get peed on is like their job or just generally?
Listen, is it anything? I'm not going to qualify this for you.
I think that is something.
Yep.
And on that note, we'll talk about it next time on Hey guys, is this anything?
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, bye.